All right, when you think about trading, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably making a ton of money, right? Hitting that one big score. But what if that's exactly the wrong way to think about it? Today we're going to dive into a pretty wild idea, that the secret to winning isn't about profit at all. It's about survival. Just making sure you're still in the game tomorrow.
So why do most traders fail? I mean, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You see all these courses and ads for foolproof strategies, these secret indicators, and yet the statistics just don't lie. Most people lose money. What's going on here? Is there some fundamental mistake that almost everyone is making?
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it. See, it's not that people have bad strategies. The real killer is the variance, those insane, gut-wrenching swings that just wipe you out, mentally and financially. The roller coaster analogy is perfect. You could be on the safest ride in the world, but if it suddenly drops 100 feet, your brain screams danger, and your first instinct is to bail. Trading is a psychological game, and if you can't handle the ride, you're never going to make it to the end.
Okay, so if the problem is surviving those wild swings, where do we look for a solution? Well, it turns out the answer comes from a place you probably wouldn't expect: engineering. The idea is to completely reframe the game. Stop thinking of the market as a casino and start thinking of it, well, like a physics problem, like fluid dynamics to be exact.
And this right here is the central metaphor for that idea. In physics, you've got two kinds of flow. On one side, you have turbulent flow. It's chaotic, messy, unpredictable. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's what most people's trading accounts look like. The goal with this philosophy is to get to the other side, laminar flow. See how smooth that is? Orderly, predictable. It's all about engineering a system that gets rid of those terrifying drops, the ones that make us panic and do stupid things.
So how do we get there? Well, it starts with the first pillar, the math. This whole system is built to avoid those gambler's fallacy strategies, like martingale, where you double down every time you lose. That is a one-way ticket to blowing up your account. Instead, this uses a totally different approach with fixed, predictable risk, and it's constantly calculating something called your distance to ruin. It's literally like a fuel gauge for your trading account. It always knows exactly how much runway you have left before you're out of the game.
Pillar number 2 is all about tackling our own brains. Look, we're human. We're wired to feel a loss way, way more than we feel a win of the same size. It just hurts more. So what's the solution? You change the game. Instead of making a few huge, high-stakes, stressful trades, the system makes hundreds or even thousands of tiny little trades. By doing that, you just smooth everything out. Any single loss is so small it barely even registers. It becomes so much easier to stick to the plan when you're not on an emotional roller coaster.
And that brings us to the third pillar, which is pure engineering resilience. Think about it like building a bridge. If you build a bridge that's rated to hold exactly 10 tons, what happens when an 11-ton truck tries to cross? It's a disaster. But a bridge built to hold 20 tons, that's robust. This philosophy applies that same exact logic to trading. You intentionally keep capital on the sidelines. You don't put every dollar to work. This creates slack in the system, making it tough enough to handle those crazy, out-of-nowhere market events without completely falling apart.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty great in theory, right? Smooth equity curve, no more panic. But I know what you're probably thinking. Wait a minute, what about the commissions? And isn't this super complicated? And you're right to ask. So let's tackle those critiques head on. Are these deal breakers, or are they maybe features, not flaws? First up, the cost. Yeah, making hundreds of trades a day is going to rack up some serious commission fees. There's no getting around that. But the counter-argument here is really interesting. It asks you to reframe it. Don't think of it as a cost. Think of it as an insurance premium. What are you buying with that premium? A smoother ride. Less volatility. You're literally paying for protection against your own worst enemy, your emotional brain making bad decisions when things get choppy.
Then there's the whole black box AI thing. Am I just supposed to blindly trust some algorithm? And that's a fair question. But the key distinction they make is this. While the AI's signal might be a black box, you don't know exactly how it makes its prediction. The system's execution is totally transparent. The rules are clear. And most importantly, the human is always in control. You can step in at any time. So it's not a self-driving car taking you wherever it wants. It's more like a co-pilot, and you're still the one flying the plane.
And last but not least, let's be real. This philosophy is tied to a commercial product. So you have to ask, is this whole thing just a glorified marketing pitch? The way they frame it is that it's an engineering solution to a very real problem. The problem is that traders, even smart ones, blow up their accounts because of a lack of discipline. So, just like a mechanic needs a specific wrench for a specific job, this is presented as a professional-grade tool designed to solve that one huge problem.
All right, all of this, the physics, the psychology, the engineering, it all leads to one central metaphor, a single idea that really ties everything together and changes how you see the whole system.
And this is it. This is the big idea. The system is not a self-driving car. It's an Iron Man suit. It's an augmentation layer. The human is the pilot, and the AI, the suit, handles all the insane physics. You decide where to go, what the mission is. The suit just makes sure you don't crash and burn along the way. Your intelligence isn't being replaced, it's being augmented.
So what does that actually look like? It breaks down into 3 simple parts. First, you are the pilot. You decide the overall strategy, the big picture. You have veto power. Second, the AI is the suit. It handles the nitty-gritty, the targeting, the stabilization, all the heavy lifting. And third, and this is crucial, the suit enforces the laws of physics. It calculates that distance to ruin and makes sure you can't do something stupid that would put the mission and your survival at risk.
I mean, an Iron Man suit sounds amazing, but let's be honest, not everyone gets to be Tony Stark. So that raises a big question. Who is this actually for? Is this for every trader out there, or is it a very specialized tool for a certain type of person?
Well, this is really built for a specific profile. Think of the frustrated engineer trader. This is someone who totally gets the math. They understand risk management inside and out, but they just can't get out of their own way when it comes to actually doing it. They get emotional, they lack discipline, and they can't be glued to a screen 23 hours a day. These are the people who value consistency and survival way more than they care about hitting some wild speculative home run.
Now, on the flip side, who is this not for? Definitely not for the passive income seeker. If you're looking for some magic money printer that you can just set and forget, this ain't it. This system demands an engaged pilot who's willing to learn the philosophy behind it. It's not a tool that removes the human from the equation, it's a tool that's meant to make a good human pilot even better.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? This whole philosophy, it's about a force multiplier, not snake oil. It's designed to automate all the stuff that traders know they should be doing, the boring, disciplined, critical stuff, but that their emotional brain just won't let them do consistently.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. As technology gets more and more advanced in trading, what are we really looking for? What's the real holy grail? Is it about building a better crystal ball to predict the future? Or is it about building a better suit of armor to protect us from ourselves?